Hi everybody, welcome back. Today on my channel I'm going to be making an apple butter in my crock pot. I love apple butter and have me a bunch of apples here. So we're going to make some apple butter. It takes a long time, so you have to give yourself at least 10 hours to do this, but it turns out really delicious and it's easy. Hope you stay tuned for that recipe. If you're new here, my name is Debbie. Hope you think about subscribing to my channel and hit that thumb. Always like those thumbs up, and hit the bell icon too so you're notified of all the videos that I upload. I got some good ones coming up. You don't want to miss them. So let's get into making this apple butter. The most tedious thing about it is going to be peeling and slicing our apples. So I'm going to be using my apple peeler core slicer that I got a long while back from Pampered Chef. So let's get into that and make us some apple butter. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get all these apples peeled, cored, and sliced. This is the fastest way I know how to do it. If it cooperates with me. Okay. Whoop. Sometimes you got to find the right place to put your apple on there. Yeah, this one's not going to want to cooperate with me. That might be one I have to do by hand. That's a Red Delicious. I'm using Red Delicious and Fuji apples. The firmer the apple, the better for one of these apple peeler core slicers. Just going to sit that over there. This is 6 pounds of apples. The recipe calls for 6.5. I don't have 6.5. So we're going to go with 6. So let me finish peeling all of these and I will meet you back here. Enjoy the speed. I had to pause and go get a paper towel. All the juiciness gathers underneath this little thing right here, and then it starts to drip. And I just mopped my floor, so I don't need a sticky, drippy mess under my feet. So let's finish these up. That freaked me out a little bit. I was doing this and I thought I heard thump, thump. And I was like, what was that? You saw me looking around. And I was like, the UPS guy had a delivery at the front door and he just knocked just a little bit, I guess, on the front door. Anyway, I love UPS. Here where I live, UPS is the best. They always bring it to my covered porch. That's really only maybe the second time they've knocked. They always ring my doorbell. They just give it a ring and they leave. But they always deliver it on my porch. FedEx. Whoops, flyaway core. I guess I'm going to be mopping my floor again. The FedEx where I live. I'm not trying to badmouth all FedEx. But the FedEx where I live, they will not bring it to my porch. They leave it at My garage door. I have a garage door built on the end of garage built on one end of my house. And when you pull up in the driveway, that's what you come to is the garage door, but probably about 10 feet you walk and you're to my porch. But it never makes it to my porch. And it can be this little bitty old envelope. And one day I was like, what was that in the middle of my driveway? The envelope had blown. I'm like, oh my gosh. And UPS is, if it's rainy, they'll wrap my packages in a plastic bag and put them on my porch, and they're just so considerate. I don't know. That's just where I live. That's what I have going on. Okay, I think I'm on. Oh, I got one more apple. I got this one that won't cooperate with me on here. Let's see if I can get it to cooperate with me on here. I'm thinking it was kind of soft in the middle. Let's see. Yeah, I think this one's going to be too soft in the middle. I don't know. Yeah, just, whew, good catch. Okay, let me get this off and this cleaned up. And like I've told you before, all of this deliciousness can go into a simmer pot. Little cinnamon stick, little sprinkle of cinnamon, whatever you have, maybe a little nutmeg. If you got some orange peel, it just water, but don't ever let your simmer pot boil dry. Very dangerous. Keep it water, keep an eye on it. Make your house smell good. So let me get this cleaned up and I will be back. Whew. All righty. Now let's get these into our crock pot here. Any of the little peel that you see, I'm going to take off. I'm going to start by just fourthing them and discard the rind of anything. Throw them in. Apple butter was not something that I really cared for when I was younger. A little girl. I just like that jelly and some jam. I've always loved jam. I have a couple of good videos on my channel for strawberry jam and peach jam. If you want to watch those, you can do it in your bread maker. It makes delicious peach, or any kind. It makes delicious jam. So let me get these all chopped up and put into my crock pot. I hope I'm not putting the rind in the wrong spot. Have you ever done that? Like you walk over to the kitchen sink with your, maybe you have a paper plate and some, now that has a little bit of, you got to watch the inside. That had a little bit of core that didn't quite get out, so I'm going to take that off. Did you ever walk over to the sink when you're eating with a paper plate and you put your fork in the trash and your paper plate in the sink? I've done that. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I just think we get distracted. We do. We have so much on our mind these days. Deadlines, responsibilities. But we have a lot of good things on our mind too, right? We have to be thankful for everything we're actually given in this world. Anything and everything. It is a blessing and a privilege to get to wake up every day, right? A lot of people are going through some struggles and hard times right now with their health, their family's health, maybe the weather where they live. Keep all those people in your prayers too, for wherever they were affected from that hurricane. That was really serious stuff. Very serious. And I just want y'all to know I have been praying for you, and I hope you're able to find some peace today. Okay, let me finish these and I will meet you back here. Okay, we got those done in the crock pot. Wipe up this juice a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do in a medium bowl, we're going to put a cup of sugar in here. There's something red in there. It's a little pink sugar crystal. I think it was probably from my Kool-Aid I was mixing up. Then we're going to be doing a cup of light brown sugar. And we're going to pack it. Get it in there really good. And if you only have dark brown, I think that would be okay too. I almost used dark brown just to see. I'm going to be adding a tablespoon of cinnamon. And this is my Ceylon Cinnamon. I think I talked about that in another video. There's different kinds of cinnamon. I started using this. So that wasn't quite full. So tablespoon. And I think I'll just add a dash or two. We're going to be adding a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. A fourth a teaspoon of clove. I don't quite add a fourth a teaspoon. Clove is, to me, what gives that apple butter a certain flavor. I think I'm going to put maybe it's like an eighth of a teaspoon. Just a skosh. And then we're going to add a fourth a teaspoon of salt. Gonna mix that all up. We're gonna then pour this all over the top. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Give it a quick stir. Get everything good and coated. We're gonna put this on low for 10 hours. Okay, when we come back, we're going to be adding some vanilla. And then we're going to blend it with our immersion. Immersion. My stick blender. We'll call it a stick blender. Okay, so when you come back, you won't see this beautiful daylight anymore because in 10 hours it's going to be nighttime. So we'll see you back here. Okay, she's continuing. Oops, excuse the steam. She's continuing to cook. Just giving it a quick stir. And it does take 10 hours on low. But I forgot that after 10 hours, you then uncover it, stir in the vanilla, and you continue cooking for 2 more hours. And then you use the immersion blender to puree it. So I'm just giving you a screenshot. It's now 5:15 and I will probably be up at midnight. So my husband will be in bed. So while I'm doing this, I may just put a voiceover on the part I video while he's in bed. So we'll be back. The apples are done a little sooner than I thought they would be. They are browned. I think it's because this crock pot is bigger. This is one of the bigger crock pots that I have, and I think it cooks a little hotter. So now I will be adding 1 tablespoon of vanilla to the apples and giving it a stir. And then we're going to leave the lid off and continue to cook it on low for approximately 2 more hours. And after that, we will come back and we will blend it up, and then we will spoon it out into our jars, cool it just a bit before I put it in the refrigerator. And I'm just panning over to let you see it's about 9:30. Okay, it's ready. So now I'm just taking my stick blender and blending it all up together. This blender is really good if you want to make a creamed soup or just get something that you want it to liquefy. So it's just taking all the little chunks that's left and just blending them into this really smooth apple butter. Look at the gorgeous, smooth, creamy apple butter. Oh, it smells delicious. And here are the jars. It did make 4. And these are pint jars. If I would have had the other half a pound of apples, probably would have made a 5th one. And I think it's time for me to go to bed. It's about 11:30. So by the time I clean up, it'll be midnight. So good night all. Take care. Bye.